First-time homebuyers have a new opportunity to save with an FHFA loan program that was just released. And these savings aren't small either. Once it's all said and done, some scenarios will have translated into a 15% off their monthly mortgage bill. I mean, that's a lot of cash, particularly as we head into a recession. But before we dive into the details, I would love your help. Click on the like button or leave a comment down below so we can spread the message of this amazing opportunity to people literally around the country. And don't forget, subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of our latest videos. If you know much about the current administration and Sandra Thompson, who leads FHFA, who's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, what we consider a conventional loan, then you know that this program is right in alignment with their homeownership access initiatives. Because let's face it, affordability in housing is a top concern. Yet it's the primary driver of wealth to the 80% of Americans. So what is this miracle product? Well, first off, it's only available through FHFA. So let's go through that again. FHFA manages Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. They provide the conventional and high balance loans here in the United States. So what it's not is it's not FHA, VA, or USDA loans. So these programs are going to provide discounts through what's called an LLPA. An LLPA is a loan level price adjustment. And Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, based on each scenario, have a matrix of all the loan level price adjustments before your loan program ever gets to the lender. So an interest rate is going to be based on things like your credit score or the amount of money that you're putting down, or if you're a first-time home buyer, or what you're going to use the property for as a primary home, a second home, or an investment. All of these things go into a matrix, and the interest rate many times is simply based off of these governed LLPAs. So here's the cool thing. They know that affordability is an issue. They know that it's hard for first-time homebuyers to get into home ownership and start building up their credit. So people with lower credit scores, lower income, and first-time homebuyers now have an opportunity that they didn't have before, because those LLPAs, those loan level price adjustments, are either getting waived or discounted. That means that your interest rate that we're going to be able to quote you and lock you in on your loan is lower. That's a big deal, because now that improves and increases your affordability, what price home that you can qualify for. There are some requirements though. You have to be a first-time home buyer. You have to use this as your primary home or your main residence. Now, you can have access to rental income. It could be a duplex or a triplex or a quad, or it could have a garage apartment or an ADU, an auxiliary dwelling unit that you rent out, but it does have to be your primary. You also have to apply for and get approved for conventional mortgage financing. That requires a maximum of a 50% debt to income ratio and a minimum of a 620 credit score. If you're outside of those parameters, you might get approved for a VA or a USDA or an FHA loan, but this program is only for conventional. You also have to move into the home within 60 days. Now, that's kind of a given. If it's a primary home, that's a requirement for all conventional financing, not just this program. But they do double click on that to make sure that you know it has to be a primary home that you're planning on moving in within the next 60 days. And then here's the big thing. Besides being a first-time home buyer, you have to be in the low to moderate household income bracket. And there's also a 20% income exception for buyers in high-cost areas. So how do you know what that is? So both Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have income limits. So if you do a Google search for Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac income requirements, or even Home Ready or Home Possible, those are also low to moderate income programs, it will come up with a map. And then you're going to want to search for the area that you're looking for a home in. And every area has an AMI, an area median income. That AMI, you can go straight up to 100% of the AMI. Here in the Denver market, because we're a high cost area, you can go up to 120% of the AMI. That's a big deal because those numbers are well over $100,000 for qualifying income here in the Denver market. So don't just think, well, I'm not low or moderate. They're actually quite generous. I mean, overall, this is an amazing opportunity, but it isn't automatically applied. In fact, it's a little bit of work for your lender. So I want to make sure that you're working with a lender like me who knows the nuances of a program like this, because it is dependent on you being a first-time homebuyer. It is dependent on having the right information about the property and the area that property is in, so it pulls up the right AMI. It also is important that I fully vet out your income to determine whether or not it qualifies based on being 100 or 120% of the AMI. So I have to not only have the data input correctly, but then also choose the components of that loan to make sure that I pull up the program that is going to give you the best interest rates. The Rueth team loves helping home buyers get into homes. This is what we come to work to do every single day because we know this is the access point to building real lasting wealth. So you can bet we're gonna pull every trigger and we're gonna work every form to make sure that if we can get you qualified, we will. And as a bonus, we're licensed in all 50 states. So even if you're not in Colorado, make sure that you give us a call because it would be our pleasure to go to work for you. We'll see you next time.